Hi folks, Puffin here with your Antifa News Briefa for April 28th, 2022. Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and he's done this to let Trump back on to give him a platform again. How do we know this? Because Elon Musk and Donald Trump are Trump-Putineers. They're Putin puppets. They'll do what Putin wants them to do. Now, I mentioned this in another video, but I just want to hone in on why we know Elon Musk is working for Putin. In the broad sense, because he's the electric car guy and we don't have electric cars yet. And the whole deal is Putin's empire is oil and military. The oil military industrial complex is what's holding all of humanity back from progress, because we don't need military anymore and we don't need oil anymore. But the two of them working together can hold us all hostage, basically, as Putin has recently done, holding countries hostage with oil. Well, we break away. We break that system. We don't negotiate with terrorists anymore. And we receive our energy from the sun and the wind. This is why windmills are so scary to Trump and Putin, because they represent the end of their white supremacist evil regime. It's going to end sometime. Sooner the better. The sooner we end that evil regime and replace it with democracy, with the people's regime, which is why they're so against democracy, the sooner we start saving and cleaning up the planet. So the sooner the better. But Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and Twitter was already right-wing. Twitter admitted a few months ago that their algorithm, they blamed it on their machine learning, but they said, we've been promoting right-wing hate speech because it produces the most engagement. Why does it produce the most engagement? Because only 10% of the people's ideas, or 5%, 3%, whatever people's ideas, the most evil white supremacist ideas, are offensive and hated by 90% of the people. So they promote those ideas to 50, 80, 90% of their content, and it makes all these people mad and engage with the platform. That was their excuse anyway, but they've been doing this for a while. Twitter and Facebook put 150,000 fake accounts out there for months to pump up Bolsonaro, Putin's puppet in Brazil, who's now facing charges of crimes against humanity for the lies he told about the Trump virus to spread it into a genocide. The exact same lies that Trump told. Another reason we know they're both Putin puppets. Elon Musk told the same lies, said the same things about, I can open up my factory, and personally was responsible for many deaths because he spread the virus when he opened up his factory, right in the middle of the pandemic, 2020. He opened up his factory, so we kind of already knew that he was on Putin's side and on Trump's side, and not just opening up the factory and having that effect in that community, and then the global effect it carries on from that because it is a global pandemic, but to put that message out there that everybody thought, well, Elon Musk is doing this, this must be a way to do it, or a lot of people thought that, or could excuse their irresponsible or evil behaviors as well by following his lead. Now, he's part of that same program to spread the genocide Trump virus as far as they possibly could. And part of killing 6 million people worldwide that I know of, and almost 1 million in America. So when are they going to be held accountable for that? We'll see. But some other evidence of Elon Musk working for Putin. One, that he bought Twitter. Why did he buy Twitter? To let Trump back on. Trump said he's not going back on because of the failed Trump social, Truth Social, whatever, but he's going back on there. That's the reason they bought it. Why would Ron DeSantis have said, governor of Florida, have said, we need to let Elon Musk buy Twitter unless it fit in with Putin's plan? Just like why did Rand Paul question Secretary Blinken and say, well, we could call these countries part of Russia. They're always going to say whatever Putin talking points he's written for them. And in this case, it's let Trump back on Twitter. That's their best shot at trying to take over our country again or destroy America again, which is Putin's entire goal through Trump. When you look at it that way, everything Trump does makes sense in that light. Putin trying to destroy democracy, trying to destroy America, because otherwise democracy, America, the world, will put oil and militarism aside, and all of those tyrants will go with it. Now, Elon Musk did a few other things that prove he's a Trump-Putineer. One is, ever since this bid to take over Twitter came out on YouTube, Elon Musk's been all over my YouTube channel. They have the ability to just pump up whatever they want, And so he's pumping up himself to give himself some profile and views and interest or whatever ahead of trying to buy Twitter. So I'm watching videos by whatever the company was, but they're playing like looped videos of Elon Musk propaganda. Well, Putin propaganda via Elon Musk. And the reason you know it's Putin propaganda is because it's so freaking obvious. The things that Elon Musk is saying, such as AI is more dangerous than nuclear weapons, well, that's a lie. But he says specifically, we can't just let anyone have nuclear weapons. Well, who decides who does and who doesn't? And whoever decides that is obviously wrong if Putin is a preferred purveyor of nuclear weapons. So Putin gets to have nuclear weapons, but Iran or some other country we decide doesn't. Well, who's we? Just this white supremacist regime. No one needs nuclear weapons, obviously, because only a madman would use them. And that regime has allowed Putin to have nuclear weapons and even to try to make an AI nuclear armed robot submarine. Why do you do that other than to say, well, it was nobody's fault. It was the AI who decided to nuke that city. Evil is why you do it. But it perpetuates itself. If he's going to make this nuclear submarine, then Australia's got to buy their submarines from, oh, no, not France, from America, etc. It just makes war worse. And Musk is part of that. Musk supposedly got into a tiff with Russia by saying something about their astronauts. And then this was from the video. The first thing that he said is AI is more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Obviously untrue, but if you're downplaying the threat of nuclear weapons, you're protecting and helping Putin. That's really obvious. And playing that video, whenever he made that quote, playing that video last week, in this context of Putin threatening nuclear attacks, really obvious that you're dismissing Putin to protect him. Now, they also supposedly got into a tiff with a Russian ambassador or something saying, will Elon Musk send his rockets on broomsticks, or will they? And so Elon Musk wrote broomstick on one of his rockets, and that's supposed to be, oh, he really stuck it to Putin when he wrote broomstick on that rocket. No, he didn't do anything against Putin, or supposedly providing internet to Ukraine. Well, who's using it there? Is it also providing internet to the Russian soldiers because they're trying to shut down the main internet? We can't trust him, but we can also trust that he is working for Putin, because writing broomsticks on a rocket isn't anything. And the person saying it is obviously Russian, because he did a full Russian accent in order to say, to mock the Russian ambassador. But he also slipped up a few seconds before that and said, put it on his rockets, and did his full Russian accent before. So you can tell that it's all Russian propaganda, especially if you start looking for it. So let's expose it and either